evening. Today is April 28th. This is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topic is strongly protest the article of New York Post and Paula Froelich. You are wrong, totally wrong. First, Taiwan is not a Chinese run state. Second, electronic monitoring is necessary so people can continue with their ordinary lives. And most of the Taiwanese people support it. Let's look into the article published by New York Post and what is wrong with it. It's titled, Life After Lockdown, Electronic Monitoring, Fines, and Compulsory Face Masks. It wrote that in Taiwan, most buildings and offices in Chinese-run state take the temperature of everyone. Well, I have to say that Taiwan is not a Chinese-run state. Taiwan is an independent country, and we call it Republic of China. And I'm really surprised that Froelich and New York Post call Taiwan is a Chinese-run state. Either they intentionally ignored it, or they have little idea of the cross-strait relations. What I mean is Taiwan-China relations. Well, Taipei Economic and Culture Office in New York also left its message under New York Post Facebook, and it protests. It wrote, Taiwan is not a Chinese-run state. It is such a cheap shot for a reporter to call one of the most vibrant democracy authoritarian. Second, I want to explain the part of the electronic monitoring or fines or compulsory face masks. Well, because in the article you mentioned it, but you know what I did during the weekend? I went to 2 gyms for Pilates and Zumba or Zamba. And I also went shopping at a department store and bought pretty earrings for myself. Then I spent an hour wandering around Taipei City and eat whatever I like. I wonder if you can do so in New York City or actually any state in the United States. If you want to live a normal life without being locked down, and if you don't want the pandemic to get worse, then you must follow regulations and self-discipline. So I mean, electronic monitoring is an efficient and necessary policy. And also compulsory face masks are self-discipline. Well, for your information, you know that Taiwanese people can now click Yes, I do on the app when they purchase masks on the government rationing system, and they can donate it. Until last night, you know, like 120,000 people donated more than 1 million masks. Don't you think that Taiwanese are really adorable? Bill Gates once said in an interview, I don't think any country has a perfect record. Taiwan come close. Well, that is so true. Here are the top stories for today. Today we have 0 confirmed cases. So great. That means no confirmed cases for 3 consecutive days. And the whole world is watching how Taiwan can achieve it. Let me explain. First, we see U.S. pledges support for Taiwan's WHO participation in a telephone conference call, and Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Alex Azar and CDC head Chen Shizhong held a 30-minute teleconference last night. Azar emphasized that the United States will continue supporting Taiwan to become a member of WHO. He tweeted after the call, he said, this morning I spoke with Minister Chen of Taiwan regarding the COVID-19 outbreak. I thank him for Taiwan's effort to share their best practice and resources with the United States. Now, more than ever, global health partnership is crucial and appreciate Taiwan's contribution. And also, I want to say that the British newspaper, The Guardian, also wrote, are female leaders more successful at managing the coronavirus crisis? Well, it mentioned how President Tsai Ing-wen is doing a fabulous job against the virus. It wrote, Taiwan adopted 122 controls and containment measures in several weeks, and making a full lockdown unnecessary. And it has reported just 6 deaths and is now dispatching millions of face masks to the war-struck parts of the United States and Europe. And Tsai Ing-wen, warm and authoritative style, has won her platitudes even from the political opponents. And there's also a hot issue that we want to talk about. Do you think that really China really pressure on the Europe or whatever they want to send a report. Now let's take a look at the article by the New York Times. It pointed out that pressure by China, EU Southern report on COVID-19, disinformation and something like that. And we want to say that a revised report shows how Beijing really reacts swiftly and effectively to lamp down the Western criticism of its pandemic response. And it wrote, whatever it said that China has continued to run a global disinformation. And this disinformation campaign to deflect blame for the outbreak of the pandemic and improve its international image, both overt and covert tactics have been observed. And also we said that let's see what the original report on China. What is the original report? You can see that some of it has been changed. First, it said that it cited Beijing's effort to crucial mentions of the virus origins in China, in part by blaming the United States for spreading the disease internationally. And the second about France, actually it didn't appear in the report. What the original said is that it noted that Beijing has criticized France as slow to respond to the pandemic and had pushed false accusations that French politicians use racist slur against the head of the WHO. And third, this report also said about it that they say that they also highlight the Russian efforts to promote false health information. Well, we know that U.S. President Donald Trump, during a press conference, said, we're not happy with China. He said that, according to the virus, and then it could have been stopped quickly, and it won't have spread so all over the world. And there are a lot of ways that you can really hold them. And China is really accountable. And actually, he said that we're doing some very serious investigation. I think the investigation is about China. And also, Republican South Carolina senator also said that, also criticized China. He said U.S. would impose sanctions on China until these conditions are met. What are the conditions? The conditions he bring out is full cooperative with any investigation regarding how the virus originate, first. And second, close all the wet markets that serve exotic wildlife. Third, release all the Hong Kong democracy advocates because they have been jailed since the virus started. Except for this, speaking of Taiwan can help, as I mentioned earlier, I want to say that Taiwan citizens, well, really good for them. And they now donated masks, more than 1 million masks to countries in need. Taiwan Digital Minister Audrey Tang Feng tweeted, she said, we are stronger together when striving for health for all. So I think that is very important. I think it's very touching for you to see that Taiwanese people, just within one day, just ordinary people, they donate their mask to the world. Isn't it lovely? So that will be the view for today. I'm Catherine Chang. I'll see you tomorrow.